हाँ, आपको सुनो यहाँ पे
Sir, good morning, sir. Morning, sir.
Sir, onge. Gurumurthy sir, good morning.
very good morning. Very good morning.
Sir, good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to each one of you present today. Begin the inaugural function with a 1 minute silent prayer. Atal Academics, New Delhi. Most respected Dr. Ravindra Kumar Soni, Director, AICTE Atal Academics, New Delhi. Mr. Gaurav, DEO, AICTE Atal, Northwest Regional Office, Chhattisgarh. Mr. Ragul, IT Consultant, AICTE Headquarters, New Delhi. Dr. Sundray Singh, South Regional Officer, AICTE Atal, Chennai. Mr. Rajendran, Finance and Admin Officer, Southern Regional Officer, Chennai. I welcome and thank for the opportunities given for conducting this event, and I also welcome members, Vice Chancellor Officiating Committee, and members of Syndicate, Alagappa University. Dean, Faculty of Management, Alagappa University. Former Chief Economist, Chief Learning Officer, and General Manager, Canara Bank. Other faculty members, distinguished guests, and the other participants who have come up here from all across the country. Once again, greetings to one and all. It gives me immense warmth and great pleasure welcoming all of you to the inaugural function of 5 days. AICTE Training and Learning Online FTP on Corporate Restructuring of Public Sector Banks in India present scenario. With suitable circumstance to conceive and learn about restructuring of public sector banks with the most esteemed personalities who have extreme knowledge in their respective fields. I am greatly elated to take an opportunity to call upon Professor C. Vedirajan, Professor and Head, Department of Corporate Secretaryship, Alagappa University, and the coordinators of FTP to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you. Good morning to everybody. At outset, most respected member, Vice Chancellor Initiating Committee, member of Syndicate, Dr. R. Saminathan, and most respected member, Vice Chancellor Initiating Committee member of Syndicate, Professor T.R. Kurumurthy of Alagappa University, most respected Dr. Manoranjan Sharma, Chief Economist, Infant Merits Ratings, Delhi, former Chief Economist, Chief Learning Officer, and General Manager, Contract Bank, most respected Professor S. Raja Mohan, Dean, Faculty of Management, Alagappa University, and Ganesh Murthy, Deputy Coordinator of AICTE Atal Online FTP Program, Assistant Professor, Department of Corporate Secretaryship, Alagappa University, dear faculty colleagues of this department, delegates, participants from other universities across the country, research scholars, learned members of the Faculty of Management and other university colleges, and my students, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure in welcoming you all to this 5-day AICTE Training and Learning Atal Online FTP on Corporate Restructuring Public Sector Banks in India present scenario. I take this opportunity to welcome you all to this online faculty development program and extend a further word of welcome to everyone here in this beautiful morning. The world today is changing virtual mode to this pandemic outbreak. Hence, considering for this scenario, our department has arranged this faculty development program, and also I am very much thankful to the AICTE Director, Dr. Ravindra Kumar Soni, and other the committee members, Mr. Gaurav, IT Consultant, Northwest Regional Office, Chandigarh, and IT Consultant, Mr. Raghu, Headquarters, AICTE Office, Delhi. So at the outset, I am very happy to welcome Dr. R. Saminathan, member, Vice Chancellor Initiating Committee, member of Syndicate, Alagappa University, and Senior Principal, Correspondent, Secretary of Vidyari Group of Institutions, Karaikudi, has readily accepted the invitation to preside over this online faculty development program. On behalf of this department, on my behalf, as a coordinator of online faculty development program of our department, I hope heartily welcome you, sir. And I extend a welcome to Professor T.R. Kurumurthy, member, Vice Chancellor Initiating Committee, member of Syndicate, as a senior professor, Department of Faculty of Management, has kindly consented to our request to inaugurate the 5-day AICTE Training and Learning Atal Online FTP program. On behalf of the department, I welcome you, sir. I extend and also be happy to welcome the most respected Mr. Dr. Manoranjan Sharma is a senior and chief economist, Informatics Ratings, Delhi, former chief economist, chief learning officer, and general manager, Canara Bank, who has readily accepted our invitation as a keynote speaker on the theme of corporate restructuring of public sector banks in India, present scenario. So, on behalf of this department, I wholeheartedly to welcome you, sir. And Professor S. Raja Mohan, Dean, Faculty of Management, Senior Professor and Director, Alagappa Institute of Management, Alagappa University, has been encouraging and motivating us for conducting these various academic activities. From the department, he is going to offer a felicitation on this occasion. On the department, I welcome you, sir. I welcome all the delegates, guest speakers, resource persons, advisory committee, organizing committee, faculty of various departments from Alagappa University and other colleges and universities across the country, and also to welcome and to thank the MIS team of Alagappa University, technical team, the directors of AICT and the SRO, South Regional Officer Dr. Surendran, Chennai, and his team, the Finance and Administrative Officer Mr. Rajendran, SRO Chennai, and also to welcome each and everyone to participate in this 5 days wonderful and valuable product development program on corporate restructuring of public sector banks in India as a present scenario. Once again, I welcome you all. So, in this at this juncture, the theme of corporate restructuring, we have a Department of Corporate Secretaryship. So, Department of Corporate Secretaryship, I like to pinpoint about the department. The Department of Corporate Secretaryship was established in the year 1985. It's the only university department in India offering MBA Corporate Secretaryship as well as PhD in Corporate Secretaryship in the domain of corporate sector. The Department of Corporate Secretaryship, we have eminent personality, the founder professor, R. Neelam Megam, and the former registrar, Professor V. Manikya, and former registrar, Professor V. Palachandran, and then the eminent personality, Professor Muttappan, Uppalata Selvaraj. All these eminent personalities have to create the landmark in the Department of Corporate Secretaryship in Alagappa University. It is a very big milestone of this department. We also to recognize that and have to cut the fund from the UGC for innovative program. That is a VAT and service tax. We offered the department since 2012 to 2017. So we have a domain exclusively for this core area of our domain is corporate restructuring and compliance management, GST and customs law. In that to move, we have to choose as a faculty members, as a team, organizing committee team, we have to choose and selecting and to getting this fund from the AICT. This is the way I have to note and registered on this online portal. The member of officiating committee, Professor Swaminathan sir and Professor T.R. Kurmurthy sir, and the senior chief economist, Dr. Manoranjan sir, and all other faculty colleagues across the country. See, our department, we have the core competency of corporate restructuring, compliance management, GST, customs law. So in that way, we have to select this title on this way to forward on this for conducting this faculty development on that public sector banks of India in present scenario. Our mission of our department to be a leader in the development of professionals in corporate governance. Our vision is to produce the competent professionals of for corporate company secretary by imparting the quality knowledge, relevant training and entrepreneurship skills to expose our students to practical situations in companies for the purpose of imparting employability skills with emphasis on the professional ethics and values to enable the students in carrying out the action-oriented research in corporate sector. So far, our department has to produce and guided more than 140 PhD scholars, and we have to produce and guided more than the MPhil students for 375 students. The number of seminars, conferences, workshops is organized so far nearly 60 numbers, and number of other activities, guest lectures, and then special lectures from that resource person and faculty from various departments, various colleges, various universities across the country. So we have to inculcate the knowledge exclusively for the corporate domain. So on behalf of the department, we have to welcome all the participants, to welcome all the senior professors from across the country on the screen, and also to welcome our officiating committee, the member of syndicate, and all other personalities on the screen. And I welcome you, sir. Thank you. As per this, what you say, this corporate restructuring. So recently, the purpose of this corporate restructuring program, the main objectives of the corporate development program exclusive for corporate restructuring, to provide a forum to exchange views, ideas, and latest trends in the field of corporate restructuring of public sector banks in India. Then next, to offer learning on basis emerging trends and challenges in the field of corporate restructuring of public sector banks in India. And third one, to improve the faculty ability in carrying out research and consultancy in the area of corporate restructuring of public sector banks in India. And fourth one, to increase corporate restructuring and to provide opportunities to further widen the knowledge and to pursue research exclusive for the field of corporate restructuring. And last one, to provide a hands-on training. This online training, if we have this offline mode, we have providing a hands-on training, training the concepts of corporate restructuring, that is merger, acquisition, amalgamations, takeover, all these to execute to provide various cases for the main purpose for that arrangement and compromise. Once companies are merged, are acquired, or takeover, then one company is merged with another company. We have two things: arrangement and compromise. In that way, all these public sector banks that in India, issues and concerns, then changes in the lending practices among the public sector banks, corporate restructuring synergy in public sector banks, societal and economic development of post-merger of banks, then researches on post-merger and acquisition, financial appraisals, insolvency and bankruptcy code 2016, financial reforms in banks, merger and acquisition of public sector banks, legal provisions of corporate restructuring synergy. So this is a main domain, and we have to focus after the end of this 5 days program. Then the faculty colleagues as well as the scholar should be able to know, to understand what we have to learn this corporate restructuring on this public sector banks in India. Thank you very much. I have to welcome everybody to on this. And one more thing, AICT is recommended and restricted only for 200 participants, but we have a number of more than 250 and 300. We have restricted. AICT has restricted participants. It's a overwhelming response. I am very happy to share as a professor at the Department of Corporate Secretaryship, the overwhelming response exclusive for this topic, which has to choose the National Committee of our department. I am very happy to and register this forum. Once again, I welcome you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening welcome address. We feel honored to have with us Dr. R. Swaminathan, Senior Principal, Correspondence Cum Secretary, Vidya Group of Institution, and member, Vice Chancellor, Officiating Committee, and member of Syndicate, Azhagappa University. Sir, you have made all of us proud of his distinguished work in numerous capacities. He had 35 years teaching experience. He received Dr. Radhakrishnan State Award for the Best Teacher for the year 2002. He awarded the Both Broad Outlook Learner Teachering 2003. He received Education's India's Best Teacher Award in 2005. Now I request Sir to convey the presidential address.
Most respected Professor T.R. Gurumurthy, member of the Vice Chancellor Officiating Committee and member of the Syndicate Arizapa University, revered Dr. Manoranjan Sharma, Chief Economist, Infomerics Rating, and former Chief Economist, Chief Learning Officer and General Manager, Canara Bank. Esteemed Professor Dr. Raja Mohan, Dean Faculty of Management at Arizapa University. Most respected Professor Dr. Vaidya Rajan, Head Department of Corporate Secretaryship at Arizapa University. Members of the faculty, Department of Corporate Secretaryship at Arizapa University, research scholars, Dr. Ganesha Murthy, Assistant Professor, Department of Corporate Secretaryship at Arizapa University. A pleasant morning to one and all. On behalf of Arizapa University, I extend a warm welcome to all our distinguished special guests and speakers, dignitaries, and everyone present at this FDP on corporate restructuring of public sector banks in India in the current scenario, sponsored by AICTE New Delhi and AICTE Training and Learning Atal Academy. It is really great that our Professor T.R. Gurumurthy, member, Vice Chancellor Officiating Committee, is inaugurating this program, being the Senior Professor and the Head of the Department of Commerce. And also we have with us Dr. Manoranjan Sharma, Chief Economist, Infomerics Rating, and also the former Chief Economist, Chief Learning Officer and General Manager, Canara Bank. It is really befitting that they are here for this wonderful program organized by the Department of Corporate Secretaryship, one of the oldest departments of Arizapa University, as rightly pointed out by Professor Dr. Vaidya Rajan. Before I present a brief outline on the subject matter, allow me to share an important health advisory message with all of you. Whether if you believe in the potency of COVID vaccination, or even if you are skeptic, it is our civic duty to ensure that we take necessary precautions, not only to safeguard this generation, who are our children, parents, grandparents, neighbors, relatives, and friends, but for the future generation as well. As such, I urge all of you to get on the board the vaccination program if you have not been inoculated yet, and do our part in facilitating the return of normalcy. The sooner we do, the sooner we will be in the lecture rooms, campuses, auditoriums, and so forth. Now, on to our very interesting faculty development program. The topic, which itself presents a conundrum and massive dilemma for those involved in implementing fiscal policies. The upsurge of the second wave of the pandemic has caused our nation a series of unprecedented challenges to the economy. A record rise in COVID-19 cases has undoubtedly slowed down the India's economy recovery. However, the extent of economic loss with primarily dependent on how fast we can proactively respond. It only makes logical sense that corrective actions are required to navigate through such business operational challenges, such as foreseeable losses, disrupted loans facility, blocked working capital, liquidity crisis, and business continuity risk. In such challenging times, organizations, which includes banks, need to assess the possible impact of the current scenario on their businesses and appropriately plan for the future course of action. Accordingly, it would be important to revisit and rethink strategy for restructuring opportunities to align their businesses, acquisitions, and structures for their survival and whatnot. In its 2020 annual report, the Reserve Bank of India stressed the criticality of recapitalization of banks amid the pandemic and economic downturn. But in the last few months, public sector banks have not been able to raise funds, even as leading public sector banks have gone down in anticipation of higher provision needs. Analysts estimate that public sector banks require around 60,000 crores in the financial year, but these banks are currently struggling to raise capital despite facing asset quality changes amid the COVID pandemic. To make matters worse, the government has not allocated enough capital for PSBs after infusing rupees 2.65 lakhs crores in the previous three fiscals. On their part, the private banks have done better. In the same report, the RBI noted the minimum capital requirements, which are calibrated on the basis of historical loss events, may no longer suffice to absorb the post-pandemic losses. The obvious questions we have to ask is why public sector banks are struggling to raise funds. Some analysts point to the fundraising exercise that was delayed because of the recent mergers among PSBs, with a lot of management bandwidth being spent on the integration efforts of the banks. Some point out to a more fundamental factor pertaining to governance standards. They say the investors are more comfortable with the private sector lending due to their governance structure and the ability to deploy capital efficiently. In other words, there are three issues that emerge. One is governance, one is efficient allocation of capitals, And the third is the return on the capital. If these three metrics, they are far behind from the private banks. As such, there is an urgent need or to corporate structuring in PSBs. And it is very suitable that this topic has been taken for discussion. Very recently, the CEOs of 12 public sector banks have called upon the RBI governor to extend the second round of restructuring for all the companies, along with a comparatively reduced provision rate of 5% as compared to 10% that was done last year. So banks are also pursuing a straight restructuring this time around, unlike a moratorium on loans like last time around. They also desire that RBI to offer more time to companies in order to complete their funding internal term loans, which they call as FITL, by end of this September 2021. Banks believe that another moratorium could potentially have an adverse effect on the credit culture. However, a restriction could give them the need. I can say that restriction could give them the needed immunity booster in order to get the economy back to the feet. Also, the reduction of provision requirements on the restructured loans to 5% can assist them in the conserving capital as well. So I am very certain that our guest speakers, eminent economist Professor Manoranjan Sharma is here to deliberate more on this topic. Will be able to offer far more comprehensive insight and dissection on the topic. We have to dissect the topic, and I wish all of you a fruitful FDP and a bounty of health. Lastly, I would like to thank the organizers for this wonderful topic that they have chosen for this FDP, and also all the faculty members of the Department of Corporate Secretaryship, Professor Dr. Moraji, Dr. Madhiraj, Dr. Armudam, Dr. Ganesha Murthy, join hands with the head of the department, Dr. Vedirajan, to take forward such discussions in the faculty development program sponsored by AICT New Delhi and AICT Training and Learning Atal Academy. And I wish all who are taking part in this program good luck, and also very informative FDP, and wish you good luck. And thank you once again. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you one and all.
I thank him for providing his gracious presence to join us today to enhance the event with such excellent speech. Guests of honor, Professor T.R. Gurumurthy, Member, Vice Chancellor, Officiating Committee and Member of Syndicate, Senior Professor and Head, Department of Commerce, Alagappa University. The man of distinction and a fountain of illuminating ideas, an idol of knowledge and experience and inspiration to all of us. He received the Best Contributor Award in the year 1994 from Dr. Manmohan Singh, and he also received 25 years Meritorious Service Award for Alagappa University. He organized more events including seminars, conferences, and workshops. He had 30 years teaching experience and 27 years research experience. He guided more than 17 PhD research scholars and published more than 70 research articles. Now I wholeheartedly welcome Sir to deliver inaugural address.
Very good morning.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
At the outset, I congratulate the Department of Corporate Secretaryship for organizing this innovative, novel, and ever enthusiastic and encouraging faculty development program to the students, scholars, and teachers. The most respected Professor C. Vetirajan delivered excellent welcome address highlighting the importance of this FDP and contributions of the department. Dr. R. Swaminathan delivered presidential address, emphasized profit earning and recovery performance of commercial banks. Sri Dr. Manoranjan G. Sharma, sir, I welcome you, sir, on behalf of the Alakappa University, being a member of Vice Chancellor Appreciating Committee. Your presence, presentation, and your blessing will stay evergreen in the minds of the teachers, students, and all members of Alagappa University. Professor Rajamohan will offer his felicitation address, and Dr. K. Ganeshamurthy will deliver a vote of thanks. I thank all the members of the Department of Corporate Secretaryship. They have done well, and their energy, their synergetic effort brought this FDP to Alagappa University. I thank the members of the Corporate Secretaryship for adding name and fame to the Alagappa University. I salute all the members of Department of Corporate Secretaryship. So this FDP, Corporate Restructuring of Public Sector Banks in India. So I am so happy to deliver the inaugural address. I wholeheartedly inaugurate this FDP, AICTE Atal sponsored FDP in Alagappa University. Bank is a financial institution accepting deposits and lending. It was the meaning. It was the meaning. But now the meaning is extended. Banks were review-centric. Banks were product-centric. Banks were customer-centric. Now it is extended. My address will justify the need for your title restructuring. I want to justify the restructuring. Why the restructuring? So banks were smaller in size. Now it is totally changed. Banks were review-centric. We had City Union Bank. We had Bank of Madura. We had Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank. Still we are enjoying in some banks. They are all review-centric. Some banks are customer-centric. Some banks are product-centric. Now, this concept is totally extended, totally changed, hence restructuring.
Professor Manoranjan Sharma, I would like to emphasize Karaikudi Chettinad is the birthplace of banking. It is a birthplace of banking. So it is the right place to discuss and deliver and disseminate the restructuring of banks. Indian Bank and IOB birthplace is Chettinad. So we are sitting here to highlight the restructuring and developments happened in banks. So banks were small in size, operations were limited, banks were under control of the government. This was the situation earlier. It is not now. Activities of banks are multidimensional. Activities are multidimensional. All activities of economy, whether it is a manufacturing, whether it is in agriculture, whether it is services sector, all activities of economy are linked with banks. All activities are linked with banks today. The businesses of all corporate enterprises, the business of entire stock market operations, and overseas trade of a country are all linked with bank today. So the functions of bank, activities of banks are multi-dimensional in nature. So this is a totally a changed and vibrant situation. Finance is the lifeblood of business, so banks are the lifeblood of a government. Insurance is included in the banking sector. Joint ventures are ensured and established in India. There is a competition between public and private sector banks, even among public sector banks. Now banks are global centric. So I would like to add the justifications for restructuring. Earlier customer centric, earlier review centric, earlier product centric, now the banks are global centric. Earlier activities were limited, now activities are multidimensional. Earlier all banks were under government control, now control is relaxed. So this is the justification. These are the situations on which, these are the development on which we have to think of and design appropriate restructuring strategies and recommend to the banking sector and government. I would like to record the organizers of this event. Please record the recommendations of the renowned resource persons, consolidate it and have a great record, and please arrange to send to important organizations of banks, government and sponsors of this event. So multidimensional in nature. Another important thing, now information technology has become an important ingredient of banking sector. No banking business without IT, information technology. So this is an important ingredient insisting the restructuring of banks. Information technology is the first servant of banks. Customers need not wait in the doorsteps of banks. They develop it. Earlier, they were at doorsteps of banks. Now need not wait in the doorsteps of banks. Customers need not visit banks for their banking requirements. Even they need not visit. Customers need not visit branches. Customers need not stand on the doorsteps of banks. So total change we see in the banking operation. Government control is relaxed. Banks will have a design. Bank will have to design appropriate strategies for their survival. The strategy is called the restructuring design. Today, we in for survival for the fittest. The sustainable development depends on fitness. All banks have to ensure fitness. Fitness depends on so many parameters, quantitative parameters and qualitative parameters. I will give later the quantitative and qualitative parameters. So norms are stipulated. Sustainable development depends on fitness, and all the banks, they have to ensure fitness. This is the new phenomena, and norms are stipulated like capital adequacy ratio, the norm, Basel norms. All the banks have to follow the norm. All the banks have to follow the capital adequacy ratio and the standard of NPS, the limit of NPS. They have to strive hard to reduce NPS and increase the recovery rate. So this is the situation warrants restructure. Workload is increasing. NPA is increasing. Economy of scale is needed today. Economy of scale is needed today in banks. We can't operate in a small banks. We can't operate in an isolated environment. Then economy of scale is the order of the day in the world market. The scale of operations of banks. Non-interest expenditure be reduced. What is the expenditure of banks? What is the interest expenditure? What is the non-interest expenditure? These two things we have to compare, and we have to decide strategies for reduction. Restructuring is one strategy for reduction. Employee productivity be raised. So many banks are there. What is the productivity in one bank? What is the productivity in the next bank? The variation is there. One bank follows the standard in productivity. Another bank doesn't follow due to various reasons. We have to properly look into and find the solution. New system in loan appraisal is needed. Do business globally, that is most important. Size of banks be increased, that is most important. So these things creates a scope for restructuring. Further, I will give added an important scopes I will add later. These are all the broader themes that teach restructuring. I would like to add, I have given emphasis for the size of the banks. Out of 10 world largest banks, 4 banks are in China. Out of 10 largest banks in the world, 4 banks are in China. It is decided based on the size. The size speaks matter today. The size speaks matter in the global banking sector. So the size, I read the first bank. That is the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. This is the world first bank in terms of size. The size is decided based on the assets. The assets, $4.2 trillion US. $4.2 trillion US. That is the largest bank in the world. That is in China, Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. 4 banks are in China. You find the largest population in the world, China. The second largest population in the world, India. Second bank, that is China Construction Bank Corporation, $3.3 trillion asset. That is Agricultural Bank of China. Bank of China, 3 trillion US dollars. 4 banks are in China. So size speaks business. Size does business. So today the size plays a role in the world market as well as in the domestic market. Then Mitsubishi of Japan, then JP Morgan, then Bank of America. It is the 9th place in the world. Now the participants, 127 participants are there. They may, sir, largest bank in India. Yes, you know well. The State Bank of India is the largest bank. But what is the asset size? Worldwide, it is 43rd. It stands at 43rd position world level. So Industrial and Commercial Bank of China stands first. State Bank of India stands 43rd position in the world market. It is the asset 40 trillion rupees. 40 trillion rupees, State Bank of India. So we have to strengthen, improve the size in terms of assets we have to improve to do business in the domestic as well as the world market. The size will provide the facility of scale of operation. The size will provide the facility of cost reduction. The size will provide the facility of efficiency. So the restructuring is insisted. So internal and external reconstruction becomes essential. Not only external, internal reconstruction is also essential. What are they? The loan restructuring, internal reconstruction. Many commerce graduates are attending this program. They know well the internal reconstruction in accounting process. So internal reconstruction is also insisted in addition to your external reconstruction. It is needed. First basic reason is increasing the liquidity in the banking sector. We have to raise the liquidity because liquidity is the facility. Banks are established to ensure the liquidity in the industry, in the banking sector, and to provide a necessary financial support to industrial and service enterprises. For providing support, financial support to industrial and service sector, the banks have to ensure the liquidity in its settlement. Then diversifying a risk reconstruction is essential. A large number of risks are there. The resource person may come forward in the days to come. They will highlight the liquidity, the concept of liquidity, measures of liquidity, and what are the risks, what is diversification, what are the risks in the banking sector, how does restructuring help for diversifying and eliminating risk. Then solvency issues. Then another important thing, the solving the issue related to NPAs, the restructuring is a great discussion. Restructuring we see applied, recently we see merger of public sector bank. It happened 10 public sector banks into 4 and public sector banks 27 to 12. So this is a recent restructuring happened. With the recent restructuring, the participant, you can discuss, you can raise clarifications in the technical sessions, and the significance and impact of these mergers, you can get first-hand information from the reputed resource persons of the sector. Then another important advantage, the business gap. Bank X is doing one business, bank 1 is not doing. Bank X is efficient in one segment, bank Y is not. So the merger will help to bridge the business gap. So it is to be ensured, it is to be visually achieved, it is to be visually disseminated, it is to be visually justified and explained. This is the outcome of this merger. So efficiency can be shared. Efficiency can be shared. Increase of synergy is possible. The energy, efficiency, the synergy, there is some meaning is there. Highlight, enlightened meaning is there in synergy. So the restructuring will strengthen synergy in the banking sector. Sri Manoranjan Sharma is there. He will highlight the significance of synergy, the achievement of synergy through the restructuring. He is the practical person having a skill in the related sector, and he is the resourceful resource person of the today's debate. His experience, his expertise will help the participants to raise their expertise in the relevant field of banking sector. So qualitative factors we can achieve. That is, though we do merger, though we do restructuring activities, a certain qualitative factors will help always whether the restructuring is considered or not. Ensuring customer confidence and trust, this is the base. Customer, we have to ensure the trust. The customers trust the banks. Though we take restructuring activities or we don't take restructuring activities, the basic thing trust. Then, first to ensure, then efficient service, expanding profit, excellent management, encouraging customer relationship. There, the 5 E's are essential. There, ensuring trust, efficient service, expanding profit, excellent management, encouraging customer relationship. These things are qualitative factors the banks have to consider for raising their performance and raising their size and to compete in the global arena. The key performance indicators are there. Key performance indicators are there. All our researchers, the PhD scholars and postdoctoral fellows, they do research on key KPIs, key performance indicators. The key performance indicators are quantitative factors. The quantitative factors are already established. Even all auditing, even all annual report disclosure, we inform, we stipulate and provide necessary information related to quantitative factors. But the qualitative factors are most significant today in the changing environment. That is total assets, asset profit relationship, expenses profit relationship, employee versus deposit, employee versus lending, employee versus interest expenses and non-interest expenses, status of NPA, lending versus recovery. These are all the quantitative factors. These quantitative factors will define the operations of a bank. But at a global forum, at a global arena, they speak lot about assets. They speak lot about number of customers. They speak lot about total business. So in this parameter, they rank the banking institution. So through restructuring, we have to raise these parameters. Quantitative parameter, we have to ensure for success, financial success, and qualitative factors for operational success, and above all, size of business that insists restructuring. Just I would like to share one statistics. The HDFC Bank 1994, the State Bank of India 1955. The HDFC Bank total assets 15 trillion rupees. State Bank of India total assets, that is I share the data 2020, 40 trillion rupees. So just in 16 to 17 years, HDFC raised 15 trillion rupees. On an average 1 trillion, just if you divide average. But whereas State Bank of India, 66 years, 66 to 67 years, they raise 40 trillion. So consider the statistic rising assets most important. Just comparing the statistics, just comparing the assets rising, here 16 years 15 trillion, here 66 years 40 trillion. All the participants just you learn and compute the ratio, and you can conclude who is better in asset raising during the short span of time. So internal, external, organizational restructuring and loan restructuring, functional restructuring will continue in the days to come. Organizational restructuring, loan restructuring, functional restructuring will continue in the days to come to match the requirements of the banking activities, economic activities. Then, change is constant for sustainable development. This is the theory. So, change in terms of restructuring, we envisage in this faculty development program. I conclude, innovation is needed for increasing efficiency. Innovative entrepreneurship is needed for raising business. Tapping the untapped potential becomes important ingredient to do new business and expanding the existing business. So innovation plays a vital role for increasing efficiency in banking sector. Not only in banking, in all sectors of economy. Innovation is needed in all activities of the banking sector. Innovation may be a product in nature, or innovation may be outcome of change. So what is the change you innovate? What is the change you want to incorporate? What is the change you want to advocate in banks, matching the requirements of economy, matching the requirements of business, matching the requirements of global competition, matching to achieve a particular share in the world market in terms of trade and investment? A change is required in the organizations of banks and to ensure the eligibility important area wherein we have to concentrate. You read the banking structure past 5 decades, you can find out the extent of change we have made and envisaged in the banking sector. Sri Manoranjan Sharma ji, yes, Dr. Manoranjan Sharma will highlight because he is the Chief Learning Officer and General Manager of Canara Bank. Organizational change and development will continue in banks. Organizational change, as a student of management, a student of corporate secretaryship, student of commerce and other related discipline, they know well change and organizational development. So there, a freeze is there and convert. They convert into normal, then refreeze. Then a freeze element is there, change you have made, then refreeze you have to do. Now this FDP will take important suggestions and recommendations to refreeze the reconstruction efforts the banks are making and doing for increasing their operational efficiency. So organizational change and development will continue in banks for increasing efficiency. Efficiency will convert you, efficiency will build you to become fittest. Efficiency only, the skill only, efficiency day by day, increase the rate of efficiency will help to become the fittest industry in the world economy. So, restructuring efforts, change in the banking activities, change in the functional structure, change in the lending deposit structure and loan appraisal structure, the change in the day-to-day activities in terms of increasing the efficiency, or the outcome, change, the positive changes, result-oriented changes. The suggestion will contribute the positive changes in the banking sector that will help our Indian banks to play a leadership role in the world market, and we will create top-level banks in the world. I conclude my inaugural address. I record my sincere thanks to officials of the university, officials of the AICTE ATL, and the learned professors of the Department of Corporate Secretaryship. And once again, I thank the Sri Manoranjan Sharma going to deliver the keynote address today. So once again, I congratulate all the participants. The participants are blessed to pursue the 5 days of FDP in this university. Once again, I record my sincere thanks and gratitude to Professor Devirajan and his team for organizing this great event in this great university. This is the #1 university in Tamil Nadu and the #2 university in terms of ranking of Jabalpur University. So all the participants, you are all blessed and you are all having an enthusiastic and pleasant time in this university. It is the guiding university in the higher educational arena. Alagappa, as legacy of Alagappa, has made this university a great university in the educational, higher educational arena. Once again, I thank all the participants, all the resource persons. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for the information you shared was very valuable. Again, my sincere thanks for kind presence. I am profoundly delighted to take an opportunity to introduce Dr. Manoranjan Sharma, Chief Economist, Infomex Ratings. Delhi has been brilliant academic record. He was the Chief Economist of Canara Bank for 17 years, General Manager for 6 years, and Chief Learning Officer for 5 years. With 6,300 publications, including the Business Review, Journal of Economy and Businesses, vocational papers, The Indian Banker, BankQuest, Cap Calling, The Eastern Anthropologist, Lucknow Management Association, Conversational Journal, Professional Banker, Analyst, Financial Express, Times of India, Hindu, Business Line, The Economic Times. He is globally recognized as an expert in Indian economy, banking, MSMEs, rural credit, financial inclusion, etc. He has made presentations and chaired sessions at national and international conferences. He has been nominated a member of several advisory councils across his member, Governors Advisory Councils, Chancellor Board for Management nominee, Kota University. Expert member AIMA Delhi, Vice Chairman, Indian Society for Training and Development. Gorgon, former Chairman, Editorial Committee of IBA's flagships journal, The Indian Banker, Mumbai, etc. His views have been repeatedly cited in the Associated Press, Dow Jones, International Herald Tribune, Wall Street Journal, New York. Now I heartily welcome sir to deliver keynote address.
Thank you very much, madam. At the outset, I am thankful to Theru C. Vithirajan, other distinguished participants, faculty members, Professor Swaminathan, Professor Gurumurthy, Professor Rajan, senior academicians, administrators from AICTE, distinguished participants to this conference, friends, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I am thankful to Professor C. Vithirajan for having me with you on this important occasion. I think some of you might have gone through the program schedule, and so I have a detailed session with you in a few minutes from now. So, an excellent perspective, an excellent setting has been made to this conference by the advisors of Theru Vithirajan, Gurumurthy, Rajan Saab, and many others. So, what I propose to do here is to make a few general observations. I'll come to my points of view in the technical session. I'm very happy to note that, as Professor Gurumurthy mentioned, Professor Vithirajan also stressed that this department has been around for a long time, founded way back in 1985, and now the department is moving full steam ahead to consolidate its core competencies and explore new vistas, new opportunities. This is all the more important in the present era, where there are increasing interdependencies and interlinkages across all segments of life and activity, particularly the financial sector. This may be a new concept for people in the US, UK, or the Western world. For us in India, this has been a belief. This has been for thousands of years. As we say in Sanskrit, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The entire world is a community, and in the light of the devastation, the ravages caused by the global financial crisis of October 2008, and more recently, the hit to lives and livelihoods caused by COVID-19 have made the world increasingly interlinked. In this kind of a broader setting, it has increasingly emerged all over the world that knowledge is the new oil, knowledge is the new currency, and the banking sector is an important part of the overall financial sector. Most of you will be aware that the banking sector in India, as indeed anywhere else, is a microcosm, a miniature part of the overall macro economy. But as I think Professor Gurumurthy, Vithirajan Saab, and others explained to you, maybe will come, that there is some kind of a dichotomy. When you look at, in India, we have large number of banks, diverse kind of banks. We have public sector banks or private sector banks. We have the cooperative banks, various tiers, state cooperative banks, district central cooperative banks. At the base level, we have organizations called PACs, Primary Agriculture Credit Societies, or LAMPs, Large Size Adivasi Multipurpose Society, UCB, Urban Cooperative Banks, Regional Rural Banks, FinTechs, new private banks. But private sector banks, despite public sector, despite still account for something like 70% of the total volume of business, which is handled by the banking sector in India today. But the dichotomy, which I wish to highlight, do not wish to do any number crunching, we will come to all those in my session a few minutes later, is the fact that while the public sector banks account for 70% of the total volume of business, they account for only about 10 to 15% of the profits. So here there is some kind of an increasing dichotomy, and all these aspects need to be looked at in a much greater granular details, particularly because in this present era of information dissemination, there seems to be some kind of a deluge of information. There has been some kind of an information explosion. What one of the most famous English poets and critics, T.S. Eliot, visualized way back, I think in 1930s, when T.S. Eliot wrote, "Where is the wisdom we have lost in knowledge? Where is the knowledge we have lost in information?" So to my mind, in this present era of information explosion, we have to follow a sequential process from information to knowledge and knowledge to maturity. In this kind of an overall setting, I'm delighted that Algappa University Department of Corporate Restructuring has organized this national webinar on a theme of considerable contextual significance. I'm particularly happy to be associated with this important institution, with the land of Tamil Nadu, which has always been a forerunner. This is the land of Dr. Radhakrishnan, the land of Dr. C. Rangarajan, who is widely considered to be the Bhishma Pitama in all these areas. So with all these, with these words, I welcome once again all of you to this important discussions and deliberations that Professor Vidhirajan detailed you will have for next 5 days. I do hope and believe that you will carry significant takeaways, and this will enrich your understanding and your insight into the subject. Thank you very much for having me with you here this morning. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for your thought-provoking speech, which was very informative for all of us. Now we request Professor S. Rajmohan, Dean, Faculty of Management, Senior Professor and Director, Alagappa University, who has total teaching experience of more than 33 years and guided more than 28 PhD scholars and received enormous awards such as National Citizenship, Gold Medal Award, Best Research Supervisor Award, Alagappa Excellence Award for Research, Best Professor in Management, and Best Paper Award. Not only that, he has published 291 articles and research papers which illustrate his research experience. Now I call upon Sir to felicitate the occasion.
Esteemed Professor Dr. Swaminathan, syndicate member and member of VC Officiating Committee, esteemed Professor Dr. Gurumurthy, syndicate member and member of VC Officiating Committee, distinguished guest Professor Dr. Manoranjan Sharma, other team who are associated with the AICT, Professor Dr. Vedirajan, Professor Dr. Ganeshamurthy, professors from corporate secretaryship and other professors from various colleges and departments. A very good morning to you all. It gives immense pleasure to share some of my thought. The earlier speaker who told us regarding the concept, especially Professor Dr. Swaminathan told us that something on liquidity as well as see some concept regarding RBI, and Professor Dr. Gurumurthy is concerned, he narrated even from the beginning to till date. And actually our guest speaker is going to have one more session, and she's such a great economist who is with us, and we people are very fortunate to attend his speech. And regarding the concept, really it is highly innovative. Even our Professor Dr. Gurumurthy told us that, and we know that it is highly innovative. Remember, actually, banking sector is a corporate body, and we know what is corporate body. Actually, it is an artificial person created by law, having a will, and we know that actually it has no death. People will come and go, but all industry, especially companies are concerned, it won't die. And like that, we have to thank the people who found the concept. Even there was a great man who established IOB. Actually, he associated with Karaikudi. He is Mr. Chidambaram, and he is the person who established IOB. And he lived in the great death just 28 years. Then what happened, even we had they brought the concept. You have to thank them. Sir, is it audible?
Yes, audible, sir.
See, we have to thank them. They found the concept regarding nationalization, and followed by that, lot of changes we had. Even Professor has rightly pointed out that earlier it was product centric. Followed by that, we had customer centric. Now it is global centric. Really is a great thing we can remember. And see, now we have to thank our AICT team who actually sponsored fund for this department. The two, we have to thank the government for having arranged this kind of program through this online. And remember, suppose there is no online like this, we can't attend the program. Even people are attending across the nation. And regarding SPA, actually, one more thing he told us that actually it won a 43rd place. See, really is a great thing because India is concerned, though see, population wise we stood second place, but we are able to even have in the rank. And especially with regard to SBI, we know that whatever happened, simply Government of India just giving to SBI. We know that there is a bank we had by name Yes Bank. Yes Bank, the problem we know that there was a lot of cases we had regarding that. Even we used to discuss the cases with regard to Yes Bank with our children. What happened, finally Government of India gave this bank to actually SBI, and SBI started to look after the bank. See, then we have the concept like this. Our professor, Dr. Sarmaji is here, and such a great economist. He will speak much on that. And we actually in commerce and management, we come across the concept like merger, acquisition, amalgamation, both internal and external reconstruction, which may not be new to us, but see, they are using the concept in such a way. See, reconstruction, just we are using the concept in such a way. We have to thank the people. Now the situation is pandemic, and we all thinking about see NPAs, and even one or two cases you might have seen that big people, because bankers are lending money to the big people, industrialists, and they are not repaying it properly. Then it becomes a problem. You can remember that the great man, but see, I don't want to say Vijay Mallya, such a rich man who had a lot of business, but he borrowed loan from SBI. But what happened, he failed to repay, and now actually SBI, they are trying to recover money from them. See, these things you can remember. We have the concept. One side we have pandemic, other side we have NPAs, and everyone is talking about economic slowdown, and this is the right time for that. Government of India, use the concept by name restructuring. And see, we had actually 20 nationalized bank earlier, plus SBI and its allied, and then they brought down to 19. Now we know that again they actually brought down to 12. And even I have seen that, I have made a study with regard to this. Actually, NPAs, RBI gave one information. Based on that, I framed a model. I actually looked at, and some of the banks had come under A category, and some under B, and some under D, something like that. But those who come under C category, actually they have the bank separately. They are not merged with other bank. But our expert team we have, they will share more about this. People like me just collecting the data, financial data, and RBI gave the model. Just I used it and I categorized that whether it is A category or B category, something like that. For that, that may not be the right solution, but I found that based on the financial data. After seeing these 12 banks, some are merged with some other bank, especially Bank of India. Actually, they had NPAs and they had a loss, but now they are not. This bank is not merged with any other bank I have seen in the information. These are the details. I salute the team of corporate secretaryship. Really, they are the great people. They found the innovative concept, because the concept we have, Government of India introduced. But academicians, we have to think it over. And he thought about that, and he applied for the he sent the proposal, and actually they were sanctioned by the great institute. See, the great thing, I salute all the faculty members, and especially Dr. Vedirajan and Dr. Ganeshamurthy. See, really is a great thing. It's a novel concept, and just like that, even we have some of the department exclusive for banking, but when they did, it's not wonder, but actually a department who is not associated with banking, you organize the program and you made the concept, and you applied for that, and finally you got it. Really is a great thing. Once again, I congratulate Dr. Vedirajan and his team. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for valuable words to felicitate quotation. I call upon Dr. Ganeshamurthy, sir, Assistant Professor, Department, Corporate Secretariat, Alapappa University, and also for this event. Welcome to deliver vote of thanks.
Fine, good morning to one and all present here. It is such an honor and opportunity for me to thank you all dignitaries on behalf of the Department of Corporate Secretariat, Alapappa University. I would like to express my gratitude to all the esteemed dignitaries joining from different parts of states, countries, for a 5-day faculty development program on corporate restructuring of public sector banks in India, present scenario. From today onwards, for their presence and contribution to make this program a great success. All the dignitaries are narrated. We know restructuring is one of the central elements of every corporate strategy. The reason for this can lie in the past as well as in the future. Negative influences in past phases can lead to crisis situation that require decisive measure in sector. On the other hand, looking at the future development can also motivate you to strengthen your own market positioning through restructuring and to give the company a sharpener profile. Most of the entire sectors can be driven by necessity to make adjustment, transfer to the next generation. We know, for example, recently restructured all the sector in like, for example, Bank of Baroda, IndusLand, State Bank of India, Flipkart, Infosys, Retail, Reliance Retail, ITC, Zomato, LIC, Apple, Walmart, Byju's, etc. All the sectors are then and there changed into organic or inorganic ways of restructuring. With this thought, the proposal was submitted to AICT Atal. As the FDP Deputy Coordinator, I record my sincere thanks to AICT Atal, New Delhi, and SRO Chennai. Actually, we have applied the proposal for conduct of FDP through offline mode. Due to COVID-19, given an approval, the conduct of FDP through online mode. Thank you very much to the team members. First and foremost, I want to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. R. Swaminathan, member, Vice Chancellor, Officiating Committee, and a member of Syndicate, Alapappa University, who shared precious time from his busy schedule to grace this FDP by presiding over this function. We thank you for inspiring and encouraging us with your words on this special day Thank you, sir. I would like to further extend our hearty thanks to Senior Professor T.R. Gurumurthy, sir, Professor and Head in the Department of Commerce, Member, Vice Chancellor Officiating Committee, Member of Syndicate, Alagappa University, for inaugurating this faculty development program and his valuable contribution. Thank you, sir. I extend my gratitude to Dr. Manoranjan Sharma, Chief Economist, Informix Rating, Delhi, former Economist, Chief Learning Officer, and General Manager, Canara Bank, for his presence and thought-provoking keynote address. Moreover, he is going to deliver a session in faculty development program. Thank you, sir. I would take this opportunity to express my deep regards to Senior Professor S. Rajamohan, sir, Director, Alagappa Institute of Management, the Dean, Faculty of Management, Alagappa University, for his felicitation and for being a constant motivator. Thank you very much, sir. I record my sincere thanks to Professor C. Vedirajan, Professor and Head, Department of Corporate Services, Alagappa University, Program Coordinator, as deliver welcome address and the guiding force for every new step forward. I thank you, sir. It is my pleasure to thank all faculty members of own department, Professor A. Murarji, Professor S.V. Madhiraj, Assistant Professor U. Arumugam, and other faculty members from other state, all over India, research scholars, students, and volunteers for glorifying the event. My deep sense of thanks to all the participants for their active participation for forthcoming 5 days. Thank you so much for your cooperation. On this occasion, I would like to spotlight the famous quote by Mahatma Gandhi: "Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever." In this context, I wish happy learning to all. Once again, thank you to everyone for making this program great success. I extend a warm welcome to people in the gathering. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I ensure the FDP will be profitable and fruitful for everyone present here. I want to thank our esteemed chief guest for the day to share the opinion and views. Thank you. Thank you, Ananda. Now it's time for break. We will get together at 12 noon for this session.
Thank you very much.
No, sir. Sharma, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. A small break. 10 to 15 minutes, then we have to join.
Okay.
11:55.
Okay, I'll join at 11:55.
Yeah. Krishna. Thank you.